And the very last one for tonight is kind of my favorite person, is Ashley Bloomfield.
Hell yeah. Oh, I love me some Daddy Bloomfield.
Oh, Daddy Bloomfield. Returns after 5 years of the pandemic to do a little interview with Paddy Gower on the fucking news. Also, there's a great segment from this, from the fucking news. Paddy Gower does a little segment about how he's trying to trademark his name. He tried it with the full fucking, like the, see. But then he also tried, he's like, oh, they said it was too offensive, so I tried the hashtag $ percentage thing. They also said no to that. The IP office, they have a name, I can't remember what it is, because they said it was too offensive and it would offend people. There's a great clip from him for about 5 minutes where he says the fucking news in every opportunity he has. And it's so good. You just get to hear him say it, and like just go and watch it. It's great. You get some nice little tidbits from this show.
I love that.
But there's a wee clip here that I wanted to show you guys. Just showing he's reflecting on his time as the Director General of Health, things that he would do differently, and things that he was really proud of. And I liked his answers. I thought they were good and they're nice. He's a good guy. Okay? He's a good guy.
Oh, no sound.
Oh, right. That's all right, because I'm at the wrong timestamp anyway. He was about to say some of the people in the office wanted him to recreate the greeting that he would do at the beginning. I'll show it at the end.
Yes.
You know, the Kyoto Code. I can't remember what it was.
5 years on, some quick fire questions here about the pandemic. What are you most proud of in terms of decision making at the time 5 years ago? What's one thing that stands out? Quick fire.
Taking the big decisions with not much information at the right time.
All right. And what did you get wrong? And again, quick fire, is there something that stands out that you got wrong?
Well, as things went by and people's kind of tolerance waned, I think we could have done more listening, because even just active listening and hearing people's concerns and telling them a bit more about the pros and cons of what we were doing, that might have helped.
And quick fire, what would you do differently if you had your time again?
What I'd do differently is I'd keep a diary, because it's all a bit of a blur now. But the one other thing I'd do is I'd task one of my senior people with just being responsible for pastoral care of the people in the organisation, because it was absolutely challenging and some of them burnt out. And, I didn't have the bandwidth to kind of see that happening. And so I'd put a bigger focus on pastoral care of our people.
And a bit of a...
That is a guy who's a leader.
Ashley Bloomfield for Prime Minister.
That's a guy who genuinely cares about people. He went, oh shit, I didn't do a good enough job of actually looking after people underneath me. Like, should have done better. I could have done better in that regard, but I did the best with the tools that I have. And I don't think many people would have hated him for it. I think they would have been like, totally understand, dude.
Well, yeah,
shitty time for everyone.
We still have to remember that these people are still humans. Sure, they've got some degrees that they've gotten and some experience, but at the end of the day, it's essentially like becoming a new parent for the first time. You don't know what the fuck to do. There is no rules. There is no guidelines, except becoming a parent. There's at least other people you can talk to about it. When it comes to a fucking pandemic that we have not experienced before in the current context, they did a really good job given the insane just scope of what that was.
If you want to get really angry, the opposite of this interview is Michael Laws on the platform, basically shitting on him for those exact answers, saying that the thing you would have changed was just writing a diary. This is the guy that blah 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 blah, totalitarian blah 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 blah, Jacinda Ardern, Jabcinda, whatever fucking blah 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 blah.
Oh yeah.
And he hated the comment that he did the best with as little information as he could. And Michael Laws just rips into him for that, as if he was incompetent.
As if Michael Laws is qualified and smart enough to fucking do half of what he could do.
Exactly.
Fucking Jesus Christ.
Honestly, you can have your own opinions and feelings, but I think the stats speak for themselves. There was a wee graph that I think Chewie showed earlier in the week Just that flat line that we had. The rest of the world, deaths go like
Yeah.
this. Us, it goes like this. I don't give a shit about your opinion of that time. I am really proud of what our government did because I'm still alive today. You're still alive today. There are people in our lives who are still alive today that we may not have even known if they would have passed away or not.
Absolutely.
Thankfully, we don't know that because it didn't have to happen like that. We were
Right.
able to protect those people.
Absolutely. I'd rather be over the top cautious than under cautious and have, especially given the the populations that we have who are at risk. We have quite high populations of people who fit into those categories of being high risk. Like, it was the right thing to do. And yeah, they could have done things differently. Anyone could have done things differently, but we're still the leaders of the world in terms of saving lives, which also meant that economically we were doing the best. I mean, at one point, our passport was considered gold because of the things that were going on. We were some of the first people who were allowed to leave the country, do stuff. We got to also be grateful. Yes, there were some negative things that have happened. There is definitely, a lot of things that have negatively happened, but a lot of those things probably would have had to happen anyway. It's either socially isolate or die. Sorry.
I don't want to die, so...
Yeah.
But I think because we were so lucky and isolated from what was happening in the rest of the world, people just have this opinion now because all they think about is the fact that they were locked up inside, and they're just shitty about it.
Well, and that's the thing is, I personally found lockdown to be extremely damaging to my psychology. I was not faring well after those lockdowns, but I'm still fucking thankful that that's all I had to worry about, because then I got COVID and long COVID 4 years later, and that has not been a great time.
Yeah. So that was the shitty side of this, and I wish I hadn't clicked on that Michael Laws video. But if you want to get angry and too, you can go and watch it if you really want to. But you can also go and watch this instead.
Yeah.
A little bit of funsies. The next one he asks is, can you please say the same for the staff of the show?
A fun question here. A few requests from people in the office for, you to redo the greeting that you would do when you came down to those beehive briefings. How did it go when you came down each time? Kia ora tātou. Can you remember how to do it?
Oh, yeah. Kia ora koutou katoa. This is not a COVID-19 announcement.
This is not. That is good. And
God, that rings in my ears, doesn't it?
Oh,
I think
that
it
warms my heart.
Almost I don't know if I think it's a shiver for me personally. I'm just like, oh.
I think it's because now my brain just associates Ashley and Jacinda's voices with a better time. So
that's true.
Not great, but those were still the better times than now.
And I'll just play this last clip, last minute, just to end off this, because I don't know, this guy just makes me happy, just a good bloke, a good guy.
It and embraced it.
And do you, sitting here today, 5 years on, have any regrets whatsoever about locking New Zealand down?
Yeah, I don't about that. And in fact, all the evidence is showing, and even the first stage of our inquiry, COVID inquiry, they concluded that actually lockdowns were a really important part of our response to keep people safe. And we were not the only country to do this. We were not the first, nor were we the only. The thing that we got right, though, was the timing. Hard and early. And actually, as it transpired, our lockdowns weren't as long as they were in many other countries. I was talking to a chief exec of a major firm here in New Zealand just last week, and he was in Seattle at the time. They were in lockdown for a year. A whole year, whereas we had those periods in New Zealand where we were in elimination, where we were essentially able to carry on our lives normally.
5 years on, what...
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's good reminders from the man that I think I would like to think that most of us were very, very lucky and very proud of for his work. And he's now a sir, which I think is very much well earned.
Hell yeah.